A divided country, a country where tensions are ratcheting up. Just days away from a peace conference, we are hearing, of course, reports that forces from the Libyan National Army, who control all of this red territory here, are moving towards the capital Tripoli, up in this blue area here. Now, that is under the control of the Western-backed, UN-recognised government that sits there. Let's bring you the pictures we have seen of heavily armoured vehicles. These are called technicals. That is a vehicle modified to carry heavy weaponry. They belong to the Eastern Libyan National Army. Now, contrary to its name, as you saw there, it does not control the whole country. It's not a national army. Instead, it is under the control of Commander Haftar. Now, he is obviously in a standoff with the Prime Minister, who sits in Tripoli and is backed by the West. Let's just bring you away from those pictures and show you the two men we are talking about. They are due later this month to sit down together to discuss peace. This is General Haftar, whose forces you saw there, and this is al-Sayed, the Prime Minister, backed by the West. Now, we're hearing reports that as this advance takes place, forces loyal to the commander have been injured. We know, of course, that the official government says they would resist. They put themselves on a military, on high military readiness. Now, why this matters, of course, to the wider international community? Well, peace efforts are underway. In fact, the UN Secretary General was in Libya when this took place. So I spoke to Tim Eaton. He's an expert on these affairs in Libya. And I asked him, what on earth is going on? What motivated this latest advance? This is what he had to say.
Is it to fully control militarily Tripoli? If that is the case, then that will clearly have major ramifications down the line. On the other hand, is this a power play to force Siraj's hand, force him into concessions ahead of a UN conference? Or is it the case that actually the LNA's advance is seeking to completely sweep aside that UN process? These are things that currently open to question. And certainly, I think it's worth noting that the fact that Haftar would order such an advance while the UN Secretary General is in Tripoli, that's clearly a major statement of the amount of credence and respect that Haftar gives to the UN in this process.
Well, as Tim says there, pretty extraordinary. Yes, the UN Secretary General is in Tripoli promoting these very peace talks as forces under the command of Haftar move towards Tripoli. The UN Secretary General tweeting to say that there must be restraints, there must be dialogue, and saying he is concerned about this military manoeuvring. The European Union, who, let's not forget, back that government in Tripoli, have their migration agreements to help control the flow of refugees with the government in Tripoli. Well, they are saying here in a statement that peace and dialogue is the only way out of this. But as we are hearing reports of clashes, reports of casualties, it's clear the situation in Libya on the eve of that peace conference, well, clearly tensions are very, very high indeed.